Welcome to Hair Up, Bra Off podcast. We're here to be your new comfort fix with unfiltered conversations on random topics and gossip. As two women in their 30s, Catherine, who's been chronically single, and Sue, who is happily married with 2 cats. So take your bra off, throw your hair up, and let's get into it. And men, if you're listening, take notes. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another incredible episode of Hair Up, Bra Off. And this episode is going to be interesting because we're going to be talking about, let me make sure I say this word right, erectile dysfunction, ED, and especially among men under 40. As women in our 30s, I feel like it's something that we're starting to see more. And I think women should be talking about this more because I feel like it also affects us in our relationship, especially when we're being intimate with men. It definitely affects it. So just kind of going into it. And I got really sucked in the rabbit hole once I started reading more and understanding it. I was like, oh my God, I get it. I know what's wrong with these men. You know, clarity.
Also, nobody talks about it, I feel like.
Yeah. So that's another huge part of it when I was doing my research, aka asking ChatGPT. A lot of the numbers that they're bringing up or they're citing in studies, they're saying they're very undercounted. What do you say? Like it's not as accurate because a lot of times men don't like to speak about
It's
it.
underreported.
Underreported. There's the word. Underreported. So a lot of these numbers, although they're high, they're most likely higher because of the fact that either one, men don't discuss it, or two, they don't realize that they have it, which we'll get into. And it's cited here, 1 in 5 young men are dealing with erectile dysfunction. I'm going to say ED from now on.
What?
Because that word
what are the different types?
Okay, so here we'll start with how common it is. ED in men under 40, 14 to 30% of men under 40 experience ED. Now, there is no different ED. ED is basically when you just can't get it up. Now, the reasoning why you can't get it up can vary. Now, for older men, it typically...
I have a question.
Yes.
Since you did a lot of the research, thank you. Kat's our chief operating officer, so she does a lot of the work. When you say they can't get it up, like, is it once? Like, how many times does it have to be for somebody to be counted as an ED?
It doesn't specify exactly how many times, but it's one of those things. If it happens, it's most likely a pattern, or if you see a pattern of it. I guess there's special circumstances, like sometimes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it'd be like, it might be like one time where, like, I don't know, the person got like turned off by something that the woman said or something. You know what I mean? And then they're like, I can't like do this. So I'm just like curious.
When you're saying that, the guy then knows why he can't get it up because he got turned off. When we're talking about ED, it's when guys don't know why they can't get it up. It's like they're trying to get horny, but they can't.
And then, I see.
It's not working. And it's typically known for men over probably 50 because physically they can't get it up. When they do tests, the doctors cite that, okay, you physically can't get it up, and so we're going to give you medicine to help with that. Now, there's another side of it where it's psychological, where it's not the body. The body is fully able to have an erection. It's just the physical side of other things they're dealing with affects it. Now, the one thing I was really interested in, and the reason why I even got on this topic, is I saw a TikTok clip on the 90 Day Fiancés. Have you seen that show?
Yep. Oh, yeah. Love it. One of my favorite
best shows. One of the best shows. Yeah. You know Colt?
No.
So he was in the first 2 seasons. He actually has been on the show for a while. And he's a perfect example of everything that we're going to be discussing in this episode. And I saw a clip of him and his recent girlfriend. They had broken up, and she called him out because he was homeless, jobless, and he had erectile dysfunction, and he still cheated on her. And my God. Right? And the second I heard he had...
With who?
Well, it was just some women online that he met. Like, he was sexting and sending inappropriate photos. And the wildest part was like, how old is he? Because he's not that much older than us. And that's when I got into this rabbit hole of, okay, what's going on with these men? And he's the perfect example because in all his relationships, he's always hyper sexual. He always talks about like doing it a lot. Every relationship that he's had, he's cheated on the other
Bro,
woman.
that's how you know. That's how you know. When somebody talks about something all the time, it's like so on their mind. It's like the men that are like hating against other gay men. It's because they're thinking about it.
Mhm.
Like we all know. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like that scandal from Christy Noam, do you see, of the guy, of her
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
husband, who's like
Mhm.
wearing like,
Mhm.
balloons. Crazy because like I bet you in that household they talk so much shit about LGBTQ people and like
Mhm.
that's what this man was doing. So
Yep.
it's like usually when you talk a lot about something, it's because you like secretly either love it or are part
Mhm.
of like that community.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of what do you say, repressed feelings,
Yeah.
like things you're holding in inside that you're slowly
Right.
just trying to get out, whether you're talking good or bad about something.
Mhm.
But yeah, so Colt has always been very sexual in all his relationships, which has been like weird. Anywho, so then I started going deep down into the rabbit hole because I'm like, this guy's not that old. And they say that ED among young men is increasingly reported. Clinics are saying more young men are seeking treatment than ever before. It says 26% of all ED cases are now men under 40, which is wild. And this is underreported because, again, a lot of guys don't even go to get treatment through a doctor or
Mm.
other means.
Yeah.
So the issue with that is instead of going to see a doctor, they're just going through like going online, filling out a survey
Right.
and getting prescribed Viagra
Through hymns, probably.
through hints. Exactly. Like these
That
really
company.
like
Yeah.
super fast, don't care, just trying to give the drugs out as fast as
Right.
possible and make money. And a lot of men in their 20s are taking Viagra because they think it's going to fix the issue when in reality
That's
becomes
dangerous.
right, it becomes a crutch that they use. And
Yeah.
imagining your 20s, that's insane. So instead of going to a
Right.
doctor, diagnosing what's going on, because a lot of it is psychological, that's the other thing that I
Right.
saw.
Exactly. Exactly.
They say
And I was gonna say, I can only imagine it's getting worse because like mental health issues are on the rise a lot
Mhm.
of the times because of we're gonna go back to our number one hate topic, which is social media. I feel like we've been just talking shit about it since we started and then like not
Yep.
us on social media, but also we're like all of these issues that are caused by it because it's like so true. Like there's so much on the rise.
So on this case, I wouldn't say so much social media, but more of the availability of porn and
Yeah,
OnlyFans and
exactly.
other
Yeah, you're right.
means.
That's what I meant. Yeah, like more
Yeah.
like sexual social media. Yeah.
Mhm. It's a lot more available, but
Right.
in the ED cases, they say 67.7% of cases in young men are psychological,
Mhm.
which blew my mind. So 31% is from anxiety, 22% is from depression, and then another 22% is from sleep disorders. So
Yeah, so it's
all of
all
these things.
but again, it's all correlated to being on our phones more because
Oh, yeah,
we
yeah.
have more anxiety because we're on our phones. We get more depressed because we're on our phones and we don't sleep because we're on our phones. So everything
Mhm.
really is like related. I mean, I'm not saying it's a main cause, but it's
So
like
we know Sue stands on the phones. Get rid of
put
them,
your
people.
phone away. Yeah, like
Mhm.
honestly, I mean, I'm on my phone all the time too. But, you know,
Yeah.
we should do like a retreat, like no phones retreat. Oh my
Mhm.
god, that should be a thing.
Yeah, I mean, no, I'm pretty sure it's a thing. It's just like in White Lotus, that episode or the last season, they made them put their phones away, lock them away for the whole
Yeah.
time that they're there because that's like the new thing, so people can
Yeah.
finally relax.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a proven science that I think works,
Yeah.
especially excuse me, especially in this case, because another quote that I saw that I was like, okay, they're like, young men aren't physically broken, they're mentally overstimulated and underconfident.
Exactly.
Period. And I
Yeah.
was like, that makes so much sense because 'cause they're
Yeah.
always on
And
their
I
phone.
also no, like they were saying that men are exposed to primarily like the algorithm knows to show them violence,
Mhm.
sex,
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
very strong things like for the
Mhm.
brain to like process. So like they no longer get excitement. They're like dopamine doesn't hit anymore when they're just going through life like on a day-to-day basis because they're exposed to so much violent content
Yep.
and so much sexual content, right? That it's like real life is no longer as attractive to them. And maybe
Yep.
that's like also the reason because they're just like they need a drug to get stimulated, you know what I mean? Because they're like under so much mental stimulation elsewhere.
Yep.
Oh, that also might be a factor.
And that's a really good point that you make is
these men, when they create their own algorithm and TikTok is just, or any social media platform is just feeding them that same thing that they already like. And it's almost like they get hypnotized in this feed that they created themselves that just keeps on putting more and more emphasis on those things. So
Yeah.
it's like they're brainwashing themselves. And that's another
Right.
thing is these young men, it's not because their bodies are broken. It's because physically they have all these other underlying issues that the quick fix is, of course, just get Viagra instead of
Right.
looking at their anxiety or looking at how much porn they're looking at
Right.
or their low testosterone. They're just like, I'm going to get Viagra and call it a day. And it just makes it worse. So,
Totally.
and this is why I think it's important for women to talk about it more because that can affect your relationship when you're trying to be intimate with someone and you're wondering what's going on. Why can't he get it up? And then women start thinking it's them. There's a fly in here. This fly doesn't like this conversation. It's like,
The
don't
fly is a
talk shit.
male.
The
The fly is a
patriarchy's
male.
coming. So yeah, so it's really like, again, why women should talk about it more because it does
I
affect
think
us,
so.
especially mentally. Imagine being with someone who you feel isn't interested in you, but in reality, it's all these other underlying things that they're just not addressing
Right.
themselves. And
Yeah.
so, and
And again, it's not like they can talk about it because it's not like they can get together and be like, "Hey, I have ED" to their friend. Like that is like something they don't do because it would be so embarrassing. So like, and they
it's a
can't tell
stigma.
women. Yeah, so they can't tell anybody. It's not like they can tell women or they can tell men. The men that are the luckies are probably the ones that have a partner, but even then it's like probably hard to talk about, like to come to terms with, you know? So yeah, I feel, I think this might be the first time we're saying this. But I feel bad for them.
Yeah, you know what?
I feel bad for men.
And this is why, again, I think it's important for women to maybe start understanding this concept. So when you do have a partner like this, you can sort of open that discussion and show them that it's okay. It's not shameful. Let's just try to fix it and see what else we can do. But I think
Mhm.
the other problem is the reason why they don't discuss it as much is because there's such an easy fix, which is Viagra. Like they can just go
Right.
online, get the pill, and then they think they're cured. But what they
Yeah.
don't realize is their body is fine. It's their mental health, which will only get worse.
Right.
And I didn't realize how prevalent, porn is, especially nowadays with young men and how much it can affect a relationship. I've had two friends that have dealt with this. And
With porn? Oh,
one
yeah.
of
Well,
my,
I know the one.
yes, you know that one. But the one I'm going to say now, which happened 10 years ago, my friend needed to use her boyfriend's computer because hers wasn't working. She had to do some assignments for school. She's on
Mhm.
there doing stuff. She had to go back and cite a website. So she went to the history to see where she was at. And then all of a sudden she sees all of this porn on the history. And she starts being like, okay, this is weird, but let me see when it was. And she starts realizing that the dates and times are right after she had left his house and they already had sex. So they had
Oh,
sex.
wow.
He went on the computer and then he was watching porn. And I remember she was freaking out. She called me. And at the time, I was thinking, you know what? Guys watch porn. It's no big deal. I think
Yeah.
you're overreacting. But in reality, I think I was just not understanding that scenario where can you imagine you're doing it with your boyfriend and then he goes on his computer and he's looking at all this porn. And it was a
Yeah.
lot. Like she said, it was almost she went back, she went back all the way back, since the day he
Right,
bought that
right.
computer. She was
Of
looking at
course.
every single and I never realized just how much that really can affect you because can you imagine? I don't know. I've never had that incident being in that
Yeah.
scenario, but now I understand it more. Back then when I was younger, I was trying to defend him because of course, like as much as we hate men, if you're a great guy, I'll always try to defend,
Yeah.
give you the benefit
Yeah.
of the doubt. Have you ever had that
Yeah, of
issue?
course.
Have you ever had that or have you ever had a guy ask you to watch porn?
No, no. Oh, here's my phone. I was looking for my phone this whole time. Okay, I had to tell Ryan to bring berries. That's what I was thinking about. When we're talking about sex, I was like, I need strawberries.
I was going to say, in my mind, I never really understand the addiction to porn because it's not something that I need or care or think about. Just like now, when we were talking about sex and porn, you were thinking about, oh, I need a grocery list. Let me text
Yeah.
Ryan. Other things are going. But with men,
Yeah.
I feel like the second you start talking about it, they'll hone in and they'll be like, that's all I
Yeah,
can think
yeah,
about
yeah, yeah.
now.
Yeah, it's so funny because is that like a natural thing that women do? Like as soon as the word sex is, you're like, okay, so what do I have to do? I have to like do all these things. It's like a natural trigger. I was like, I started like daydreaming. I'm like, oh my god, I have a lot of work. No, I was gonna say the last time this happened, which is really weird. We were with my friend Nelly. We were in Naples, and we were kids, so like I don't know, 15, 16.
Okay.
And we were hanging out with like an older man because that's what we did. This is what is this
Shame.
in thousands? I don't know. You know that meme of like the woman like me on the back of a car at 16 years old, where like the bass like not
Yep.
knowing and somebody that was driving insane. That
And
was
there's
literally
smoke
us.
everywhere.
And there's smoke everywhere, and there's just like the bass running.
Boom,
So literally this one guy who was in his 20s, he was like, I remember like one time, like I still remember that day because I was so young, and like he was driving so fast and he made like a turn. I think we almost crashed. And I'm like,
oh gosh.
he thought it was hilarious, but I'm like, oh, I can't hang out around this like man anymore. And he would have like porn playing in his apartment when we
Wait,
like
what do you mean playing? Like on the TV?
just on the TV.
Interesting, because mind you, this is like before screen mirroring or just being
Yeah.
able to connect your phone. This is like
So
you're
yeah, like the
going out of
tapes.
your
Yeah, like
way.
the tapes. Yeah. And we'd like, it was like he was like 24, 25-year-old. And like he hung out a bunch of, like around a bunch of like 16-year-old girls.
That would creep me the heck. I
So
would run.
I think he would like get off on it. You know what I mean?
No, yeah,
I think.
that is
So we like
weird.
stopped hanging out
Thank
with him.
God. So
Yeah.
thank God, because I've never heard of that. That is so weird. You know what's crazy?
It was weird.
I was thinking about this though because I was rewatching Friends, and it's interesting how in that context in the show, and maybe this is why I always just think, oh, porn's like whatever, guys always watch it, because they'll have episodes where, remember when they had free porn on the TV and they didn't want to shut it off because they were afraid that it would go away?
I don't recall, but maybe I just haven't watched a lot of the Friends episodes.
It's just weird how casual they are with porn. And I feel like that's how they are in a lot of TV shows.
Yeah, like
Which
they
is
don't think it's like a
intriguing.
huge deal. Like especially if it's a man talking about it, it's like, oh, that's just
Yeah.
like part of their life. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's something that they consume, you know?
Exactly. Like it was okay for all of them to just have porn in the background while they were all hanging out, and it was okay.
Yeah.
It's just weird how they were so nonchalant about it.
Yeah.
I was like, that's
I feel
strange.
like it's not as socially acceptable now, I feel like.
Yeah.
But back then I think it was. Yeah.
And maybe it's because back then it was a lot more, what's the word? Because it wasn't as available as it is now. And
That's true.
maybe since the porn addiction has gone up so much in the last few years, that people are doing the double take, like, wait a second. Instead, back then it really was like you had to buy a channel for it or go to the video store and go to the back where there was curtains covering that section, and it was really secretive and it wasn't as prevalent. But now with like OnlyFans and, you know, just free Pornhub, I think it's changed the thought process behind it.
Also, I think I said this before, but OnlyFans apparently there are, how many did they say? There are 90 million Americans, men on it. 60% of them are married. And then like something like 80% of them are white.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So like, you know who you are, you know? But also I had to look at my husband. I was like, because he met the demographic, you know?
Right.
I'm like, are you an OnlyFans? What are you doing on your phone?
Have to keep a close eye on that one. Don't let him.
Exactly.
And that's the interesting fact that you mentioned that, because it says about 1 in 10 men say they're addicted to porn. Over half of the therapists say they're seeing more cases than ever when it comes to the addiction and the rising cases, which makes sense. But, and also so again, another story, this is a story that you probably heard. Another friend of mine, where I didn't realize how much of an issue porn was, she woke up next to her partner and she wanted to instigate in some foreplay. And he was not about it. He said, no, I'm too tired. I don't want to. So she goes, okay, I'm going to go out for a run then. And she goes downstairs and she sees that her headphones are out of batteries. So she takes his headphones. And I don't know if it was before she left for the run or when she got back in, but when she was close enough to him, his headphones connected to his Bluetooth. And when it connected, she heard him listening to porn. And so she then ran upstairs and said, "What the fuck are you doing? You're watching porn?" Especially since she just wanted to do it. But he said no. But of course, now it's okay because now he wants to do it with porn. Which at the time, again, I made it seem like, oh, guys do that. Maybe he just wasn't in the mood. But then afterwards, like trying to kind of make sense of the situation. But in reality, I now see it like, no, that's a problem. Like, I understand now more where she was coming from, where she was so upset. Like, why is that happening?
Exactly.
Like, what? I don't even know what I would do in that scenario if that happened.
Yeah, I don't know either because I feel like it's not. I guess. Okay, here's the thing. I'm gonna just also say something. Here's the thing about this. Like, I guess I would have to see the pattern and like other signs doing before.
I remember when I was younger, there was an episode of True Life MTV, and it was addicted to porn. This guy was highly addicted to porn to the point that he had a family and young kids, and he couldn't even stop watching porn to get back with his family. Like, it got to the point that his wife kicked him out and was heading towards divorce. And even through all that, he still would somehow find himself watching porn again. Like, it can be really heavy, which is shocking. Again, as myself, and I've never really known another woman, but it's never something that I see as an addiction. It just seems so crazy. Like, I'm so disconnected from that thought. That even seeing this whole thing about erectile dysfunction, it's now like, oh, now it's all making sense, the connection, Like, I never realized how porn can affect someone because it's just never been like something affecting me.
I guess it's kind of similar to like whatever. I mean, I think that more men obviously are on this spectrum than we are, but whatever makes somebody get turned on by having control over women, if that makes sense, or like access to, because it's less about the sex itself and more about the availability of it, like the type of stuff that you want to watch, I guess, which is more of like a kink, which can develop into like violent tendencies. But like whatever that spectrum is, it's like reaching those men too, if that makes sense. Like it's like, because again, to what we were talking about earlier, like it's not like they're not having sex or they're like wanting sex. It's more like the type of content that they want to watch and like the high they get from watching it, and like the control and availability of it, right? Because it has to be specific. Like it's a drug, it's a specific drug. It's not like in any form of it. Like it's not just like getting off. It's more like psychological.
Yes.
So and they need that to be in that mindset. So I think there's like a spectrum of like, it's kind of like when you're talking about serial killers that like Jeffrey Dahmer, they like have a fetish of like dead people. Like, I don't know. What can you do about that? That's their thing.
Yeah. And that's the other thing that I've read, that heavy porn use can train the brain to respond to constant novelty, extreme stimulation, and unrealistic scenarios. And so then real life sex is slower, less visually intense, and it's emotionally involved, unlike porn. So the question becomes, do you think men are actually less attracted to women now or just more conditioned to porn? Kind of like what you're saying, how porn is just available. It's their kink. It can be a lot more, they have much more control to it. So they're more conditioned to that porn.
It's also like, it's like what everything, it's like what's happened to everything. Like you have to, for example, you get the same level of zen and peace, right? Or like relaxation by like, let's say, like running or like working out really hard and then like taking a bath and like relaxing, right? Or you can just take a pill and like make it all go away. Like I think as the availability of drugs become also like stronger, then you're just like, it's the same, you're just like looking for like a quick release, right? Like this society nowadays is not used to feeling discomfort anymore or like going through the hard work. Nobody wants to work anymore. Like do the hard work to get to the destination.
Kim K was right.
Which is
she got
pleasure,
backlash. She got backlash for that, but she was right. No one wants to work.
No one wants to do the work. So it's like, it's the same thing that's happening with everything, like losing weight, like it's like now there's a fast way to do it. I mean, there's always been kind of faster way to do it, but like this is probably like the least painful one where you just like get, every other place you had to like, every other way was more involved and now it's just like a drug, right? Like, so it's like what's happening with everything. It's almost like porn is that version of like fast release, I guess pleasure for specific
that's what you're saying now.
things. Because you don't want to go through the whole, it's just faster. and it's more like available. It's the same. It's the same, like, high that you get, and so you just like, my thing is like, you no longer have to wait.
Yeah,
and go through the steps to
it kind
get
of
the
reminds
thing.
me when like I'm hungry and I'm lazy, and I'm like, I can just go through the drive-through because it's easy and fast instead of going inside and dining in and sitting down and having to order. It's just
Yeah.
much easier.
Yeah. Or
And
cooking,
so
right?
they're
Cooking
just
would have been the
yeah.
harder version of that.
Mhm.
Yeah. 'Cause
Yeah.
you can still cook it. You can grab, like, especially if you're craving like a burger or whatever, you could like technically go and buy it and like cook it, but that takes longer. And
Mhm.
it's gonna take longer to get to your quote unquote release, which is like eating that burger.
Yeah. No, I agree. Sorry, I just lost my notes section. So
So
yeah,
I guess what I'm saying is like, just practice some sort of like, this is my advice. I'm giving free life advice now on this podcast. I would give you the advice of doing one hard thing a day, like normally that you're like used to just doing through like some sort of like easy. I mean, if the drug is essential, take your drug, but like do a hard thing, or like you just feel like it's gonna take you a little bit longer to get to your
so it's not
satisfaction.
like if I'm allergic to peanuts, the hard thing would be eating the peanuts and then having the reaction. That's not what we're
Yeah.
talking about, right? I'm just kidding.
No, I mean, honestly, that's funny because I feel like the family I come from believes in that shit. Like my aunt is allergic to a bunch of things, and she just keeps eating them. And it's like, well, like I'll get used to them at some point.
My
And it's
body
like,
will
I don't think,
regulate.
yeah, I'm like, I don't think you should be doing that like at all. I think it's like very dangerous. Like,
Have
I
you
don't,
seen Broad City?
I have, yeah.
The episode where they go for her birthday dinner and Alana is
Yeah, I've
allergic
seen
to
it. Yeah.
seafood, but she still eats it. And she's like, I'm
Yeah.
right on the edge. I know when to take my. It's just like that. So, yeah.
Literally, that's her. Exactly. Like, because I was listening to a comedian. I know I'm talking for a while now, but it's gonna make sense.
Hmm.
I was listening to a comedian. My God, I'm forgetting his name. He's like Irish, whatever. But he was talking about how back in the day, because he's like, now the whole thing is about mindfulness and meditation, which really just means like sitting there with your thoughts, right, for a significant amount of time. And he was saying how like we basically would have to practice it, right? Like, because we didn't have phones. Like now, all these, like, you cannot be away from your phone for more than like 5 seconds. You like take it to the bathroom, you like walk with it. There's noise in your heads like all the time. If you're driving, you're like walking, you're doing whatever, you're on your phone, you're listening to something, like whatever. He's like, back in the day, we didn't have that, right? So you would have to like go on the bus and like practice mindfulness. Like you just looked out the window and just watch condensation for, I don't know, 30 minutes to an hour. Mindfulness. Like you had to go to the bathroom, mindfulness. Like that's all you did was go to the bathroom. And if you had to walk to, like, that's all you did. Like you were in that moment at that moment. We were meditating without knowing that we were meditating. That's what meditation and mindfulness are now.
So I guess a good practice would be instead of doing something that's hard, of course, but I would think of it as maybe just try to go to the bathroom without your phone a few times, and just be in your thoughts.
But that's what I'm saying. That's something hard. It's something hard to do now in this economy, like in
this
this
economy.
no, like with these times, it's hard. I will dare anyone to like just like go to the bathroom without their phone, or like ride the subway. Like I'm in New York City without like actually looking at something. Just like ride the subway for like the 3 to 4 stops. Just like be there. That's rare.
Yeah. Just be more mindful. Be in the moment.
Yeah.
Go
just,
to the bathroom.
before,
or more effectively, just listen to this podcast. Put your phone away, hit play, and listen to us speak. As you're in your mindful
just
state.
us though.
Just us. That's it.
Just
but
us.
Yeah, I agree. And again, it sounds easy, but it tends to be the harder choice. And that's why I think Viagra use is so high in men, especially when they're younger. And it's such a stigma that they don't even want to think or seek treatment.
Yeah.
Another story that I have, which I didn't realize, because this is when I was introduced to the fact that men just take Viagra even when they don't have an issue. It's just a recreational thing that they want to do because they take it once to experiment, and then they're like, whoa, this is amazing. I need it now.
Yeah.
So my friend was dating this guy, and after we went out, we went to his place, and he had this huge mansion. They were very wealthy, owned restaurants, and we were hanging out. And his roommate was like, oh, let me show you around, give you a tour. And I was like, okay. And I remember this because I was wearing these new boots that I got and my feet were hurting. I was tired. He takes me to his room. and I see his bed and I'm like, end game. I need to go to sleep. So I start saying, wow, this is such a nice room. Wow, this bed looks comfy. Yeah, this bed is really comfy. Let me just take a seat. Wow, this laying down is fun. And he was like, okay, you do that. I'm going to go to the bathroom really quick. And so he went to the bathroom, and within 2 seconds, I passed out. I fell right asleep. I was like, thank God he left. I
Wait,
passed
Kat,
out.
you and your sense of safety are so like,
Oh,
you're
no,
just
no.
like, this is a stranger's bed. I'm just gonna
No,
fall asleep
no.
here.
I
Like,
knew
it's
him.
fine.
No. I knew
Okay,
him. Like,
okay,
we hung out a bunch of times. Like, my friend was dating his roommate, and we have hung out a bunch of
okay,
times.
okay,
And
okay, got it.
I even went to the house previously, but I didn't go to every single room. So this is someone that I knew well enough that I was okay with that. It wasn't a strange guy. So he goes to the bathroom, ass out. The second he left, I was like, thank God. And I fell right asleep. He comes out,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess he interpreted me wanting to lay down in the bed as something different.
Right.
Okay. But he comes out of the bathroom. I'm passed out, living my best life. He goes downstairs and he makes this like large statement. Oh man, she fell asleep and I just took a Viagra. Now what am I going to do? And all of his friends are laughing, but he didn't realize that my friends were in the kitchen and they heard it. And they came back out and they're like, oh, she fell asleep. And he was like, yeah, she fell asleep. I just took a pill. Like, I'm going to go do whatever. And he went and took care of it. And mind you, this guy was in like his mid 20s, late 20s. He was not like, he was young taking this just
Yeah.
randomly,
Yeah.
even before anything gets started. Like, that's how what normalize men take this.
Right. Right.
The next day, my friends told me, and I was like, that is insane to me. I was like, well, thank God I fell asleep. There was nothing ever was going to happen.
I just love how you were like, I'm just gonna sleep here, and then like, and then you're just like surprised that someone's like, ooh, something happening.
Especially me trying to
You're
play
like,
it off. This
what?
bed looks really
I know.
comfy. I like this bed. Totally. But,
Yeah.
and then the crazier part is fast forward. My good friend's stepsister is talking about how her best friend is dating this weird guy who she doesn't like, and they're not talking because of him. And it's really weird because he takes Viagra all the time. And this was like 5 or 6 years later after that incident happened with me.
Mm-hmm.
And she was saying how this guy takes Viagra and they're always having sex and it's weird. She shows me a picture and it's the same guy.
Oh my God.
So this same guy, years later, is still taking Viagra like nothing.
That could not be good for your heart. Like,
right?
It's just not good. He's gonna have a heart attack.
He was probably...
If you're listening, you might have a heart attack. You should check on your heart.
Yes.
Go check it out. It's really bad, bro.
I was shocked because I'm like, this guy is still doing the same thing. Like, finding these girls, taking Viagra nonstop. And from what I'm understanding, she didn't even enjoy it because it's just like, exhausting.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't even know why he was taking it so much. Again, he couldn't have been above 30 at this time. So...
And also, I wonder, like, if it loses his efficacy, like, do you have to take more?
Like tolerance? That's a good question. I did look into, can taking Viagra create erectile dysfunction? And
wait, one second.
Physically, yeah.
I have a hair. Okay, now I'm back. Sorry, I had a hair in my mouth.
No, fine. Physically, it doesn't affect you, but mentally, it gets harder for the men to get hard without it because they think they need it. So it's like they become dependent on it. More than, I guess, the amount, which is a really good question. Let me ask ChatGPT.
Because I would think with any drug, you have to take more to like feel it. You know what I mean?
Do men build... If someone saw my what's it called?
Your search history?
Oh my God, it's so bad. The other day, my mom didn't know what a camel toe was. So I had to look up images to show her. My search is, what is a camel toe? Show camel toe examples.
I can't believe she didn't know.
Right?
That's so
she
funny.
had no idea.
That's hilarious.
Wait, Viagra, question mark. Okay, so no, not really. Men don't typically build a tolerance to Viagra the way that you might think, like drugs or opioids or alcohol. But there are reasonings feel like it's working less. Okay, so again, it's all physical. So psychological, I mean, for the effectiveness, which is why I think it's so important to talk about, because the majority of it is psychological. And so it's never going to get fixed unless they see treatment and they get better through other means, like working on their anxiety, working on their depression, not watching porn all the time. So
exactly. Totally. That's honestly the main reason why I come talking this podcast. It's just like my little therapy for the week, just talk to you
Amen.
about irrelevant, I mean, not irrelevant completely, but like to my life topics.
This is very important
And
stuff. That's why people are listening to. Hello.
That's true. Now, I mean, like, who the fuck cares?
Oh my
But I
God.
think you have to do things that like definitely give you a little bit of like just take you out of your regular routine,
I'm trying to see how much the industry makes. How much is it? Holy, okay, so early 2010s is when it was its peak years, which is ironic because when I talked about the guy who took a Viagra during when I fell asleep, it was during like 2012, 2013. It was 1.8 to 2 billion a year for Viagra. But and this is the other thing. Okay, so the other reason why a lot of men now are also using it is because there's generic versions now which are available, which is a huge reason why it's
How
become
much is
more.
it? That's what I'm trying to find out.
That is a good. I don't know. Let me see. Wait. Okay.
Well, like insurance wouldn't cover it. Would it cover it? I guess. I mean, depends on how old you are.
It's oh wow. So brand name Viagra can be around 80 to 90 per pill. Holy shit. But the generic is $1 to $4 per pill.
Okay. Yeah,
So that's
then
a
a lot more accessible.
huge difference. No wonder why. That's insane. Okay, so that's why it definitely went in the upticks. Wow. So to get 30 tablets, it's $9 now.
Wow.
I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, God, we're doing this to ourselves. It's self-sabotage because in a way, I think it should be more regulated. And I think it should stay that price to keep people from, what's the word?
Abusing it?
Yeah, abusing it, like taking advantage of the system and keeping that price because,
Yeah.
again, a lot of this now that it's available is just causing more issues. You know what I was just thinking, and I don't even know why this just clicked in my head as we've been having this conversation, is I'm starting to realize more and more how men, these big influencers, would even talk about taking Viagra. Do you know who Dan Balzerian is? Dan
Yes.
Balzerian? Okay.
Miami, right?
Yes, I think he was in Miami. He's
Mm-hmm.
a total fraud. He acts like he has all this money and all this women
Yeah,
when
yeah,
he's
yeah.
broke. His company goes
Yeah.
bankrupt. He has no
Yeah.
money. But I remember hearing him tell a story about how he was on a bunch of cocaine and he was
Mm-hmm.
trying to have sex and he couldn't get it up. So then he took Viagra on top of the
That's
cocaine.
bad for your heart.
And he ended up fucking up so much that he had a heart attack and he had to go to the hospital. And this was years ago that I don't know why this is just clicking in my head. And I remember hearing that story like, that's insane. Men take Viagra and cocaine. But men who are probably listening to that thinking, oh, wow, Dan's taking Viagra. Maybe I should look into it. Like it seems, and
Yeah.
he's not that old. That's the crazier part. Dan Balzerian at the time of that story, I think was like late 20s. And he was just openly talking about
Instead of like
taking it.
addressing the issue, they're just like,
Yeah.
I'm taking it. Yeah.
Instead of not doing cocaine, let me just add Viagra to the mix.
Yeah.
It's
I know.
wild to me.
The solution was just not do the drugs.
Yeah, let's not. And this is what I'm
Yeah.
saying. If you maybe, especially as women, and it's something that I'll definitely take with me in the future, if you see your man dealing with it or you kind of see signs where they're not able to get it up, kind of open the discussion of how it's like, it's a more psychological thing. Like there's nothing wrong with you physically. Let's see
Yeah.
other ways that we can help it or work on it and kind
Of
of bring it
course.
up.
Yeah. Yeah, just
And
be vulnerable, work on your
mhm.
anxiety, work on your depression, and, just start being more open. I think that'll be
You
the
know
way.
what?
Practice mindfulness, being in the
After
moment.
after talking about all of this, you know what the real conclusion is? And I even told my mom this. I was like, I blame you guys for so much. Especially when I'm on my period, I blame my dad because the guy is the one who chooses a gender, like what they put into the mix. And
Mm,
then I looked at them and I was like, I'm also upset that I'm not gay. I'm upset that I'm straight because
I know.
lesbians don't have to deal with this shit. Now talking through this whole episode, I just thought in my head, like, I was like, talk to your partner unless you're lesbian and you're living the best life ever and
That's
you
true.
don't have to worry about this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I mean, again, it's like not something to be ashamed of,
Yeah.
Like it should be easy.
Amen. I honestly, us as women, understand how much mentality can affect sex because a lot of
Yes,
it is mental for us. We know better than
that's right.
anyone. But I think we're also
Yes.
really good at faking it. And we can sometimes make it seem like it's amazing, but we know more than
Yeah.
anyone that it's all up here. And there's so many times where no matter what, it will never click.
You're just not there.
And at least for me, I know that it's not my body. It's all up here mentally. And we have that connection that we would be more open for men to talk about ED. Like, I would be excited
100%.
if I was with someone and they opened up about it, because I'd be like, I can totally relate, because us as well.
Yeah, you're an expert now because you did some research through, and then you like put down a patient. You're like, I'm basically a doctor at this point. I can just like,
you know what? And maybe it's because maybe because women physically, they can't see when we're hard or not hard, that they don't understand just how mentally tough it can be for us. But
yeah, well, he, like Ryan, my husband, I think is like a very big believer that, well, and I think he's right. Like, he's like, you can tell when a girl is like, when a woman is in the mood or not. He's like, people, like men that say that they can't tell, like they're lying.
So is he saying in the mood or when they're faking it?
No. If they're like if they're like in the mood, like if they're like into it, if they're like mentally there.
Okay.
Ryan source, he can like tell. Like if you're, and honestly, I think he's right. He said this was like through his life, like dating life. Like he's just, maybe he is more intuitive, but I think women, because I think you can also tell, even if a guy, like even if it's not about sex, we might be more intuitive when it comes to like noticing if a friend is feeling uncomfortable or like comfortable. You know what I mean? Like if we're in a situation, you can like read body language towards like if the person wants to be there or not, or if they're feeling comfortable or uncomfortable. I think we're like good at it for the most part. And I think it's that same skill set, if that makes sense.
Yes, I feel some men have that, and then a lot of them don't.
No, a lot of them don't. But I will say some men do, for sure.
I also think, and I know I'm part of that problem, because I will act like I am, and I'll act very well. I mean, I'm Meryl Streep. I will make it seem like
okay, well, then everything. I don't know.
Because I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, if I give it the performance of a lifetime, and if I tell myself I'm so into it, then I will be into it. But then the ending comes, and that's the end of the movie, and I'm like, well, that was bow down. That was the end of my performance. Like, it never ended up clicking, And that's why I think
I'm leaving now, sir. Have a good day.
And that's why I think so many men believe, because you'll ask a man, oh, do you think women ever fake it with you? No, dog. Every woman that leaves here leaves satisfied. Like, I can tell she was asking for more. I was in it to win it. And it's like, no, I definitely, no, baby.
Yeah.
No.
Every guy will always say that. Again, except for like a few, like I will include my husband in there. He's just like, no, he's like, I know when people are like, I can just tell. Like, they're just like not about it. I don't care what they're saying with their mouth or like how they're like acting. But he was just like, I could just like 100% they like tell that they were uncomfortable. Like,
yeah.
And he's like, to me, that wasn't like attractive, So
I've learned that I was part of the problem by pretending so much, and that women shouldn't do it. I feel like we need to bring this problem to light more, and that means being more honest and not pretending and acting like it's everything, because I was definitely part of that problem. I know that for a fact. I gave these guys way too much like inflated heads, thinking that it was fantastic, but in reality, I could have fell asleep. I was done. I was like, oh,
you're like fighting for your life. You're like, I'm so tired.
I'm groceryless. I have to go home and watch this movie.
Wait, you're like, what's the guy in 90 Day Fiancé? You're like, I wonder what happened with him.
In my mind, I'm like, I tell myself, as a reward for getting through this, I'm gonna get some ice cream afterwards. My reward for dealing with this and giving a performance of a lifetime, I'm gonna give me whatever I want. I'm gonna go home and buy whatever.
And then you're like, what kind of ice cream should I get? Yeah, dude, it's wild. Anyway, our advice is no one should pretend.
Don't pretend.
And everyone should work on their mental health problems before, preferably not through pills,
Yes.
Before engaging with other people.
Especially considering, again, 5% of men under the age of 40, it's all psychological. It's not physical.
Right.
So, just work on it, yourself. Put yourself first. Make yourself happy.
Sleep more, do more meditation. I think just do things that will kind of take your mind away from the algorithm, which is important. So
stay away from OnlyFans.
Yeah.
No.
Go to the grocery store without your phone. Just memorize the list and memorize how to get there. and then
or you can start
do the
small
shopping
like
and come
me
back.
and just like go to the bathroom first without your phone, and then move to the grocery store, and then move to other
We're gonna
things,
write a 10-step plan as to how to get away from your
As
phone.
I'm on my phone writing it, me on my chat GBT, as I'm telling people to stay away from their phones.
Literally. Not us having like our laptops, our phones, like
creating this
everything,
podcast.
the TV. Literally. Yeah. But you know what is different though, because it's like an outlet for us, and it's not like short form content. You know, been talking for forever.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that people should have like people should be entertained and like use whatever social media, but also like at some point like disconnect, you know, like everything and nothing in excess, right? It's like what my parents taught me, and I value that a lot.
Yeah. Necessities. We'll say that necessities.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't need to
Things
watch
that are
porn
not
for
necessary.
4 hours, you know.
Right.
Definitely not.
That's what I was saying. Exactly. That's
Definitely
what I meant.
not.
Yeah. And if you take Viagra, isn't the erection like 4 hours?
Well, no, it's not supposed to last that long. If it does, then you have to go to the hospital. So, so if any men are listening, make sure if you do take Viagra, it's not more than 4 hours, because then you might lose it.
How long is
They'll
it?
chop it off.
What's the average? We're like the health teacher in Mean Girls, where he goes, "All right, please don't have sex. Please, all right, everyone, take some rubbers,
condoms."
We're ending the episode being like, okay, well, if you do take it and it lasts more than 4 hours, you just go to the hospital.
So wait, how long does an erection last when taking Viagra? Or he goes, if you have sex, you will die. Now take a condom.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so it says the peak effect is around 1 to 2 hours. It starts working for 30 to 60 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Wait, this is weird. Stay active. Okay, no, wait, hold on. That was not correct. I guess it's how long Viagra stays active in your system. It stays working for 30 to 60 minutes, peak effect 1 to 2 hours. Total window is 4 to 6 hours that it's still in your system, but not that you should be having an erection. Okay. Typically, most erections... Wait, what? How long the erection itself lasts? Most erections, a few minutes to 30 minutes during sex. Viagra does not cause a constant erection for hours. It just helps your body respond naturally when you're aroused. So it should only be during the time that you're doing it. So even after you're finished and it's still up, then I guess it's either you took too much, obviously, or your dick is about to fall off. And I'm a doctor. So
you should go to the...
Yeah, I know these things.
So Kat is your doctor, and then I'm your psychologist. And between the two of us, we're gonna fix you.
You're gonna have the healthiest lifestyle ever. You're gonna be peaking. Okay, peaking is a new word. That's interesting.
Exactly.
Imagine if it only lasted a few minutes. I thought Viagra would work for like 12 hours. Okay, well, we learned something new.
Yeah.
On that front.
So on that point, we all learned something new today. Again. In conclusion, don't take it. Don't take it. Don't take it recreationally.
Yes.
Don't take it even just to try it. That's dangerous too.
Yeah.
So, just talk to someone and then make sure that you're finding other ways to achieve a more relaxed mindset in which you can operate peacefully and thoughtfully. And that's how we're going to leave you with that piece of advice.
Thank you so much for listening. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Erectile dysfunction. I can say it now. Yeah.
Thank you so much for being with us. And tell your friends, men, or enemies, we're not picky. Follow Hair Up, Bra Off everywhere you scroll. Take care of yourself, and we'll see you next time.